All right. Well, we have a very special activity for the second half of our show today. It is Mardi Gras on the 4th, which is Tuesday, also called
Yes.
Fat Tuesday. And Mardi Gras is a celebration that is associated with the Lenten cycle. The Lenten cycle is the period of days before Easter. It starts on Wednesday, Ash Wednesday, and so the day before is like a celebration. And in New Orleans, the celebration is called Mardi Gras. You can also find it expressed as Carnival. In other cultures, many parishes or churches will do pancake dinners on the Tuesday before. And basically, the idea is you celebrate,
This is hilarious,
you
right?
eat the pancakes or you have the fun or whatever,
The
and
idea
then
is you're using up your eggs, right? Getting ready for a fast. But I think we've been
I
egg
haven't seen
fasting.
eggs in I don't know
We've
how
been
long.
egg fasting for a long time now.
I have not seen a carton of eggs in like a month, I think, at least.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was thinking might have to make my pancakes with flax or egg replacer these days. which is no problem if you're vegan, right? That's the way my mother always makes her pancakes these days,
That's
is with
right.
egg replacer, but I miss my eggs. Yeah.
Well, Mardi Gras is a here in the U.S. at least. It's something that a lot of people celebrate, even if they aren't following a liturgical Christian practice that also celebrates Lent, because it's a lot of fun. So we would encourage you to celebrate Mardi Gras, or to at least make your child aware of Mardi Gras, because it's an important part of cultural studies, which is what you would find in the humankind section, right? Learning about the fundamental needs of humans is an essential part, especially in the lower L curriculum.
That's right.
And so studying something like Mardi Gras is par for the course. It really helps fit to that. And like what parts of the fundamental needs? Well, there would be spiritual needs, of course. There would also be celebration that would go in there. And then digging into Mardi Gras itself is really fun because there's all kinds of symbolism related to like the colors and the practices. You can study the parade itself, the Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans, or you can study it and how it's expressed in other places. Take this as an opportunity. It's coming up. It's next week to kind of do some cultural exploration, because
Now,
that is a part of the lower L curriculum
it
for
is.
sure.
You mentioned the fundamental needs of humans. This is actually from a lesson that we've titled Understanding the Fundamental Needs of Humans Across the World. It is a classic lower elementary Montessori lesson for those of you curious. And you would be studying these things, be kind of interesting to see how they relate to the
Mardi Gras.
idea of Mardi Gras or Fat Tuesday. So these needs are, I'll read them in order, if that's okay. Shelter, clothing. I'm thinking clothing is going to be a part of this. Nutrition, also a part of this. I'm thinking about those pancakes. Defense, transportation. I would be thinking in terms of transportation. How do you get yourself to a Mardi Gras festival?
I was thinking about the crew floats.
Oh, yes. Cool. Communication. Yeah, that's also a fundamental need. Health and wellness. Art and music, spirituality and religion, philosophy, social acceptance and support, love, and vanitas, which is vanity or like having a good self-esteem.
Yeah, pride in yourself.
So we can look at any cultural celebration and we can say, hey, this actually checks off several of these fundamental needs that we have as humans. And that is definitely part of our, what we're doing with humankind.
Totally. I love the fundamental needs of human as a part of the study. It's not something that I explored until I started to really work on the lower elementary curriculum with you. But I think it's brilliant. I use it all the time now with our own kids as part of the homeschooling, and they're older teens. And I use it for myself because it really, I think we often hear like the Maslow's hierarchy of need, or you need food, shelter, and clothing. But what Maria is pointing out in this, or Maria and Mario, I guess, who developed this part of the curriculum, is that it's actually a lot more. It's not just food, shelter, and clothing. Humans need all kinds of other stuff. And if you think about human societies across the globe and throughout all time, you will find these markers.
Right.
And that tells you something important. Like all human society needs some cultural expressions. They have some attitude about religion and spirituality. They have their own foods and what food represents. And that's can be found, like you said,
You
in
know,
Mardi
have their
Gras.
own
So
manner of shelter.
yeah,
And also, we as human beings are vain. Like, we care about generally like what we wear,
totally.
not just for practicality, but for beauty as well. And there's nothing to be ashamed about in that.
I think it's an important one to remember that it's okay
And it
to have
also
self-love.
it also definitely comes into play when we're talking about something like Mardi Gras.
That's right. Okay, so let's talk about how you might incorporate Mardi Gras celebrations in your home. Uh, Aside from, let's say, if you are in a spiritual practice that celebrates something like
Lent.
Lent
Mhm.
or Fat Tuesday or pancake, have your pancake suppers. How might you do that? So, what are some of the techniques that come to mind for you?
Throw the ball to me. So, I mean, we mentioned the pancakes already. I would probably also mention the decoration. You know, it's
Mm,
a fun time to dress up and celebrate. And you can do this. You can think about that carnival, or you could think about the Mardi Gras celebration in New Orleans. But they both have to do with dressing up,
mhm.
bright, fun colors, wearing masks. You probably are aware of the little plastic bead necklaces that they use in New Orleans. Don't use them.
No, they're
Yeah,
toxic.
yeah, they're literally toxic. You can look it up if you want to be scared, or you can just take our word for it. All right. So just don't buy them. Don't use them. They're not sustainable. They're not designed for kids. You don't want your kids' mouths to end up on them,
Now, the paint can be very
and you
toxic.
don't want the paint in your home. All right. So
Yeah.
don't use them. But there are lots of other different kinds of decorations that you can do. There are a lot of child safe, child made for children, or other non toxic ways that we can decorate ourselves. So use those. Put on as many. My children really loved putting on as many necklaces as they
Oh,
could put
yeah.
on. So they would dig through my jewelry drawer and find all of the necklaces and put them all on all at once. And it's just fun and it's festive. But stay away from the plastic ones.
Yep.
Make masks.
Yeah.
It's fun. This is something that I did every year in the classroom that I really enjoyed with the kids, is mask making. And so I kid you not, last night, burning the midnight oil, David Hargis went about making some mask printables for you based
Yeah.
on Mardi Gras masks so that you can make them at home. And we want to give you the instructions to making these yourself.
Yeah, now to start off, if you want a copy of these, they're just totally freely available. We just wanted to share the fun, let you
Yeah.
celebrate
Do
in
you
your
have a
home.
URL for that?
Yes, go to childoftheredwoods.com/masks and it will redirect you to this template. And we'll keep that up for a couple weeks or something like that. If you are already on our email list, it'll ask you to put in an email and then it'll send you the PDF version of it.
Okay.
Yep, that's how it'll work.
If you're already on our email list, do they
Uh,
still need to sign up for the
Yeah,
printable?
and if you're in our community, if you're already a member of Child of the Redwoods, don't worry, you can download if you want. But we actually also just posted a copy of it in the community itself, so don't worry about going through the URL. You can just go right to the community. But for everybody who's not yet a friend in our community, then head over to childoftheredwoods.com/masks, and you can grab your pack.
Yes.
Okay,
Now,
now.
I want to tell you about how I did this in the classroom because it was a very easy method. It was available often for the kids. I would take a template like this or like this, whichever one I wanted. Sometimes I would have multiple different mask options for the
Yeah, and there
kids.
are others, but I made a simple one for little guys and a little bit more complicated for the
Mhm.
older set or for the bigs in the
Yes.
house.
Okay. So what I used to do is I would cut this out myself and then trace it onto a piece of like a little bit of cardboard from either a cereal box or from a cracker box. You know, you
Yeah,
just really want that chipboard that's a little bit stronger than just paper.
Yeah.
And so tracing it on that, and that gives you a template for masks. And then your child is going to use that template that you have made on your little bit of chipboard to make their own masks. And what they're going to do with it is they're going to trace around it with a pencil onto some cardstock would work really well, some thicker paper, or you could use construction paper as well.
Yep. You could use more cereal boxes after you've made your template.
You could, but I'm going to recommend construction paper or
Because it's easier to cut.
yes, because it would be harder for your kid to cut on the chipboard themselves, but you can easily cut on the chipboard.
Yeah, I like the idea of the chipboard, and that's kind of what I was imagining here. Is that because the last step is you're going to stick it on a pencil or something and hold it up as a mask, and so it's firmer.
That's true.
But
But you could also
you
put
make the
2
call.
pencils, one on each end.
Oh.
And that would work with any kind of paper you use. So this is just the way, I mean, you could do whatever you want at home, and David has laid out some lovely instructions for you. But the way I did it in the classroom was all of our templates went onto chipboard. They went on a tray. The kids traced around them, and then they did not cut out the eyes. They pin punched them, which is a Montessori trick that we use. You can just put a little bit of, you usually like something fluffy under it. So some foam or a cork board would work well, like a bulletin board if you have one to lay down. Or we also use little carpet squares, or a little piece of carpet, something like that, where your little thumbtack or what is it, just like a pin pusher can punch in. And that was just a much easier way for kids to do the eyes, because eyes are always really hard to cut out.
And it's also, I think you'll find that
also unsafe with chipboard.
And you'll find pin pushing in the Montessori curriculum too. And it's good for fine motor and other things. So it's a win-win.
Yes. So if you've done that and your children are welcome, I would just get out I would get out all your art materials and just let your child go crazy, decorate it any way that they like. There's no one way. Feathers are really, really common.
Glue on feathers.
If you have chickens at home, like go wild. But otherwise,
you can just paint them. I mean, you can use the more traditional colors, the purple and the green, but you don't have to. I would say this is a great time to go to the library and get some books on Mardi Gras, or just pull up some pictures on the internet and look at them and kind of inspire the child. This is a way to kind of start to extend the activity. But if your child's not interested in that, they just want to cut out masks and color them, that's great too.
That's right. Yeah. So anyway, go download your set. Give them the URL again. What is it again?
childofredwoods.com/masks.
Oh, so easy.
So easy.
So easy. Go get yourself a copy. No strings attached. Just go have some fun.
Yeah.